Hey, boys and girls, welcome to chapter 12. It is a whole new chapter on money and time. And I was just going to start off with this, and it's out of Psalm 90, verse 12. It says, "Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom." And this is such a good reminder, boys and girls, because we realize that I know you're much younger than me, but we only have a certain number of days on this earth. And as you realize that we've learned from history, we have people that live long days, people that live in short days. When the Bible says to teach us to number our days, it just reminds us, like, ask the Lord to remind you that we only have a certain number of days, and we want to make them great for Jesus. That we may gain a heart of wisdom. Because sometimes when we don't plan well and we think, oh, we have time, we'll do that later. We can tend to get selfish, we can tend to get lazy, and we can focus on the wrong things. So if we remember that every day we have is a gift from the Lord, we're more inclined to be wise, we're more inclined to be generous, we're more inclined to make good choices. And we can ask him for wisdom in those days that he gives us. Also, before we move on, I'm going to read out of Ecclesiastes 5, and it's a little bit about money. It said, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves abundance with its income." So that was Ecclesiastes 5:10. So it said, "He who loves money will not be satisfied with money, nor he who loves abundance with its income. This too is vanity." And then I skipped down all the way to verse 18, and it says, "Here is what I have seen to be good and fitting, to eat and drink and to enjoy oneself in all one's labor in which he toils under the sun during the few years of his life, which God has given him, for this is his reward. Furthermore, as for every man to whom God has given riches and wealth, he also empowered him to eat from them and to receive his reward and rejoice in his labor. This is a gift from God. For he is not often considered the years of his life, because God keeps him occupied with gladness of his heart." So that just reminds me, boys and girls, as we learn about money and if we learn about time, remember our time on this earth is a gift from the Lord. Every single day we have air in our lungs, and we have our heart beating, and we have the ability to love and serve him and others. That is a gift. And with the money that he gives us, so he provides for your family, he provides for you. Don't take it for granted. But also don't make it so much that that's what you're about. And there's been times we've had a little and times we've had a lot. And the little and the lot was always a gift from the Lord. So if circumstances change and maybe you don't have the money for the Lego set that you used to, or maybe your parents are generous, don't let that sway you. Be thankful for the money God gives, and be thankful that he provides. He gives you that to enjoy, but don't let that be your number one. Make sure you always worship the one who provides your time and your money, and that is the Lord. Okay, so with that, let's move on. Let's see what some of the things we're going to be learning in this chapter. 1, telling time AM and PM to the nearest minute. Time, computing elapsed time, that's time that passes by, and reading a schedule. Money, we're going to be identifying coins and bills. With money, we're going to be adding and subtracting money and making change. And then we're going to be going over Venn diagrams. Those are fun. Okay, so now you can turn to page 333 in your book. This is lesson 12.1. And this is some time, literally some time. And we'll take some time today. So we are on page, I love this. This is my 333. And the most ironic thing is you ask my kids and they'll say 333. It's my favorite time of the day because I love the number 3. I don't know why. And so when it's 3:33 in the afternoon, they go, "Mom, it's your favorite time of the day." And it's funny that we're starting time on page 333. There's a little fun fact for you. Okay, it says hour, half hour, and quarter hour. Okay, so let's read the instructions together. It says the hour hand tells you what hour it is. And the hour hand is the shorthand. For most of you, this should be at least a little bit of review. And the minute hand tells you what minute it is. Okay, so the shorthand tells you the hour. The longhand tells you the minute. It takes 1 hour or 60 minutes. How many minutes in an hour? 60. It takes 1 hour for the hour hand to move from one number to, sorry, let me trace the wrong thing. So like for this to go from here to here, it takes 1 hour for the minute hand. And for the minute, it takes 1 minute for the minute hand to move from 1 minute to the next mark. So it's hard to draw in here, but from this space to this space, that is 1 minute. So for the little hand to go from here to here, that's an hour. From here to here, that's an hour. So to go from 7 to 8. Now to go from 7 o'clock to 7:01, that would be a minute. Okay, that's all they're saying right there. Okay, now let's look at what it says here. Pete walks his dog every morning at 7 o'clock. So 7, there's a 7, because the hour hand is on the 7, and the long hand is on, the minute hand is on the 12, which means it's o'clock. When it's at 12, it's o'clock, 0 minutes. 7:30 or 7:30. Now, the reason it's called 7:30, I want you to see something, boys and girls. We just learned fractions, so this should make sense to you. If I were to color in the clock, do you see that that's halfway around? Half past 7. So 7:30 is also called 7:30. Okay, now here's another fraction visualization for you. 7:15 or 7:15. Watch this. Do you see that's 1/4, 1/4 after 7? Okay, now here we go. 7:45, that's 7:15. 7:45, 7:45. Now, when you pass the halfway mark on a clock, when you pass the halfway mark on a clock right here, this side is past, so how many minutes past the hour? And once you pass the 6, once you go this way, it's how many minutes until? Until or to the next hour. Okay, so this one's like the countdown. So just think about it. Let's say you're really excited about doing something and you are looking at the clock and you're thinking, oh man, it is only 10 minutes after 8 and I don't get to go until 10. But there's a point where you start thinking, you start doing a countdown and you're like, oh, I only have 15 minutes left, 14 minutes, 13 minutes. So just like that on the clock, once you pass the halfway mark, you start doing the countdown. It's like you're watching the clock till you get out of school, right? Or until it's recess or until it's lunch break. So once you pass the halfway mark, you do minutes until. So this is a quarter. Do you see a quarter till? There's a quarter of the clock. There's a quarter of the clock until it gets to the next hour. Do you see that? Okay. So it says write the correct letter of time in each box. Now, for those of you who may have missed doing clocks in 2nd grade, we know, I'm going to do another quick review. Every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, these are all worth how many minutes? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, and then there's our 60th minute. We start back at 12. Okay, so remember the little hand is the hours and the big hand is the minutes. So when we're counting by minutes, every one of these dots matters. They're like a minute. So there's 60 little dots all the way around. And the hour comes between whatever. So this one is right on the 3. And anything here all the way until it hits 4 would still be, the hour would still be 3. Okay, so let me get rid of that. Just doing a quick review. Okay, so let's see what it asks here. Write the letter of the correct time in each box. So we have, let's look at it. This is pretty basic because they're just doing halves and quarters. So there, what is it pointing to? That is our hour hand. So we know, I'm just going to write the time 3, and then the long hand, the minute hand is pointing to the 12, which we know is o'clock. So 3 o'clock. Which one matches 3 o'clock? I see it. It's D. Excellent. Number 2. Okay, my hour hand, let's look at it, is pointing to the 11. Okay, 11. And the minute hand is pointing to what? Let's count. 5, 10, 15, 11, 15. Which words match 11, 15? Oh, there. See, I see it. Okay, number 3. Ooh, Mrs. Kornthal, but this isn't pointing to a number. Remember, anywhere in between. So if it's between these two numbers, it will be the number before, unless it's already there. Okay, so it's 6. Sorry, it's not 6. It's 5. What? So it's pointing right here. So let's imaginary line. It's still in this area. Do you see that? So it's 5. And then this is, you're going to have to remember these. It'll be helpful for you. 15, 30, 45 o'clock. 15, 30, 45 o'clock. So 15, 30, 45 o'clock. So if you do that with your minutes, that will really help you in telling quick time so you don't have to count all the way around. So when it points to the 6, it's 30. 5:30. Which one says 5:30? A. Okay, last one. Don't just fill in the answer. Let's look at it. Ooh, our choice is 9:45. Why does that work? You remember? This is like a quarter of our clock. Do you see it? There's a quarter of our clock. It's a quarter to what? Switch this color. See our hour hand? If we were to draw an imaginary line, it's right before the 10. Now, why wouldn't I say a quarter to 9? Because remember, we're doing the countdown section. So there's only a quarter until it gets to what? This next hour, which is 10. It's a quarter to 10, which is the same as 9:45, right? But we could read this out of our choices. It's 1/4 until the next hour, which is 10. So it is B. Woo! This is a good review. Okay, here we go. Match each clock to the correct time. If you know this already, boys and girls, why don't you challenge yourself and then double check it with me? Okay, we're using words, we're using numbers. Let's see what we've got. Okay, match the clock. So there's 4 clocks and 4 choices. We have 1/4 to 2, 9:15, 12, and 4:30. I'm going to start with the easy one. I know when it's 12, the hour hand's going to be pointing to 12, and the minute hand is going to be pointing to 12, because that would be o'clock, right? When it's 12, it's o'clock, or 00. So it's 12 o'clock. So this one I know is that. Good, we have one done. I'll start with the next easiest one that's a number. 9:15. So, what is this? That's pointing to the 9, but that's not it, right? I'll switch so you can see. This is not it. Because is that the hour hand? Nope, that's the minute hand. We don't need that. Let's see which one. Ooh, I see it. See, the hour hand is pointing to the 9. So it's in this area right here. So it's not, the hour is 9. And let's check the minutes. 5, 10, 15. It's pointing to 15. Do you see 9:15? Great. And what was the trick to go around? 15, 30, 45 o'clock. Okay. 15, 30, 45 o'clock. So if I remember that 3 is 15, I would have had that right away. Okay, 1/4 to 2. This means it's going to be before 2, which means it'll be 1 something. And 1/4 till, remember, is 45. 45. Do you see that? So it's something that's going to be 45. 1/4 to, I'm going to shade this in. Do you see it? Here's 1/4 to. And do you see it's at 45? 1/4 to means 45. 1/4 to 2, and it's going to be before 2. So it'll still be, see, if I were to draw an imaginary line right there, it's right before 2. It's not 2 yet. So it's 1:45, and that is the time right here. Woo, Okay, 4:30. Let me get my highlighter out again. Highlighter. 4:30. I know that half of an hour is 30 minutes. So I know it's going to be something with 30. So it's going to be 30 something. Half past is 30. Past. So I know it's 4. It's not till, it's past. So it's 30 minutes past 4. 4:30. And let's look at our clock here. Here's the 30 minutes. And then do you see, if I were to draw an imaginary line all the way through, it's halfway past 4. Do you see it? Okay, that matches. All right, it says write the numeric, that just means the number, so don't write the words. Write the numeric time for each clock. All right, numeric time, let's look at it. Well, I like to start sometimes with the minutes. That is 30. Remember, 15, 30, 45 o'clock. And where is our hour hand? Our little hour. Okay, so I know it's not to the 9 yet, so what is the hour? It's 8. 8:30. Do you see that? Okay, let's try another one. Let's look at the minute hand first. The minute hand's the long one. Ooh, if I know, I can count by 5, 10, 15, or I can know 15, 30, 45 o'clock. So I know that it's 15 minutes, but what is the hour? Ooh, it's just past the what? 11. It's 11:15. Okay, are you starting to feel comfortable? This takes some practice if you were not familiar with it. If you are, this is still good review for you. Okay. It's a bummer because in our classroom we have a special clock that tells us all these code words and it has labels on it, and I bought it special for this year to help you with clocks, and it's still in our classroom and you can't get to it. But anyway, hopefully you even have one of these clocks at your house, you could use it. Okay, let's look at the minutes. If I know 15, 30, 45 o'clock, I know that that's 45. Could I count all the way around? Or if I didn't remember that was 45, could I start at 30 and go 35, 40, 45? Yes. Could I start and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45? Yes, but do you see how much longer that takes? It really helps if you know 15, 30, 45 o'clock. Okay, so I know that's 45. I'm going to put my minutes in there. Now, what about the hours? Okay, and remember, the clock goes this way. And you can tell because it goes like if you forget which way the clock goes, just count. Which way do the numbers go? 1, 2, 3, 4. They go this way, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's after the 1. Think of it like a timeline. It's after the 1, but before the 2. So it's still going to be 1 because it hasn't hit 2 yet. Do you see that? So it's 1:45. Okay, now this one says draw an hour hand and a minute hand to show each time. And I'm going to actually draw them in 2 different colors. I'll do the minute hand in purple. And the hour hand, which is the smaller one, is going to be in blue. Okay, so I like doing the minutes first. And the reason why I like that is because sometimes based on where the minute hand is how far over the hour hand goes. Because it goes a little bit as the minute hand goes around. So 6:15, I'm going to draw my long one first. Here's 15. Okay. 15 and 6. So 6:15 is only a quarter past. This little hour hand moves around a fraction as the minute hand goes around. So it's only going to be like a quarter past, remember our term, a quarter past. So if I were to draw this, it's about a fourth of the way. See that? A fourth of the way past the 6. Make sure you can definitely tell that your minute hand is short and your minute hand is long and your hour hand is short. So we can tell the difference. Okay. Let's go again. Minute hand. Ooh, a clock. When it's a clock, it goes all the way up. And it actually might even cover your number a little bit. So there's my o'clock. There's no minutes. And it's 1. It's going to be pointing exactly at the 1. There we go. Okay, number 9. We have 11:30. I'm going to do my minute hand first. Try and beat me. Where does it go? 30. You got it. It points right down to the 6. Remember, 15:30, 45 o'clock. And our hour hand will go halfway past the 11 and not to the 12. And it's short. So if I were to draw an imaginary line and keep going, see how it's like halfway between? Because I've gone about halfway around the clock, right? Because I've gone 30 minutes. Okay. Let's look at the last one on our page. I'm going to go back to my minutes. 45, 15, 30, 45. So I know it points to the 9. And that's a long hand because it's our minute hand. 45 and 12. Here's why I like doing the minutes first. Is because I know it's going to be only 1/4 of the, 1/4 of the way until it gets to the 12. Because remember, it goes a fraction. So if I did this correctly, boys and girls, it would be like 1/4 of the way until it gets to the 12. It's closer to the 12 than it is to the 11 because it's gone past halfway. It's gone 3/4. Okay, so your clock should look, oh my goodness. I did that wrong. I was thinking 11:45. Some of you caught me. Good thing I caught myself before I turned the page. Okay, here we go. It's 12:45, not 11:45. So it's almost going to be to the 1. So now let's try that again. So it's about 1/4 of the way until it gets to the 1. Okay, so even I have to double check my work. It's not like I don't know how to tell time. But we just have to be careful. Okay, so let me just look at all these. 6:15, yep. 1 o'clock, perfect. 11:30 and 12:45. Awesome. Write the ordinal number. Do you remember this from way back in the beginning, boys and girls? Ordinal numbers. First, second, third, fourth. Do you remember that? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. So let's do that real quick. What would you write for each of these? We'll do them together as review. Second. So you put 2 with the ND, the ending on it. 17th, TH. 4th, TH. Ooh, 21st, ST. 23rd, RD. 99th, TH. 60second, ND. Second. And if you forget, sometimes if you just look at the front of the number, like if I were to leave this off, I know it would be second, first, second, third. The endings will stay the same, even if you put a number in front of it. So do you see this is the same as this, the ending? That's why. Okay, 85th. So if you remember it's 5th, you'll remember it's 85th. Do you see that? Okay, great. Boys and girls, you're done with the page for the day. We are done with 134. All right. I love you. Go try and tell some time at your house. Have a good time and enjoy your day. Love God.